Welcome to episode 16 of the Action Takers podcast. I'm your co-host Nate. Got JC here as always. JC, how you doing, buddy?
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
Dude, I'm doing good, man. It's been a grind, but we've got some hurdles to overcome here in the next few days, weeks. But that's how life goes. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, same thing. It's been a little slow week for me. Slacked off Monday and Tuesday, getting up early. But today, got up at 4, got to the gym, and got my day going off right. So yeah, it's just one of those things when you're kind of off track, but get back on track and finish off the week strong.
Yeah, I'm with you. So let's just dive into it. It's something that you brought up this topic. You always, I feel like you always bring up these hot topics when it comes to episodes. I'm always wanting to fucking bullshit about crazy TikTok videos I've seen, and you've got a little bit more organization. So what do you want to talk about today?
I was thinking about bringing up just the idea of trusting the process. With everything that we do around the personal development, self-improvement, it's you're putting in work daily and not seeing results, right? We don't see these results in a day, a week, a month, sometimes. So it's I just want to kind of talk about that because sometimes it can be kind of tough to keep going when you're not seeing these results, whether it's, hey, I'm trying to grow my social media, so I'm doing my posts every day, I'm doing my reels, I'm trying to provide value to people, or at the gym, right, I'm working out every day, trying to gain weight or drop weight, and you're just not seeing those results, so right away. So I guess my with that topic was just, or the idea of talking about it is that, like, when you do finally see a little bit of growth and whatever it is you're working on, you kind of will look back and be like, man, I've been working on this for months, years, however long it is. So it's just one of those things that really getting people to trust the process, whatever you're doing, and believe in it, and doing that daily work will eventually bring fruit, whatever you're doing.
Bring fruit to the fruit stand. It's no, man, it's one of those things, like when you brought up this topic last week, and we wrote it down in our notes, and I've taken a few notes and stuff and kind of reflected on just my life, and it often seems like anything that I wanted to accomplish, like, and I was dead set on it, that's what I'm doing. I sacrificed years of my life to chase a dream. And when you accomplish those things, you do look back and go, holy shit. One, it took longer than you thought it would. It cost you more money than it ever should have. And you look back and you recognize that, like, there's certain things, there's certain ways that you went about going after your dream that you're like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, if I could do it again, it would be so much easier. The pathway would be so much easier. But at the same time, you're looking at those experiences and stuff, and you recognize that anything you want to do, you can accomplish. Like, it's crazy. Like, the one example that always kind of hits home for me is the book Think and Grow Rich with I think Napoleon Hill, I think, wrote it. Anyways, super famous book. I mean, wrote in like the 1930s or 1940s. Took him 10 years to write it, but it one of the stories is Thomas Edison. In order to invent the light bulb, he had 10,000 failures. If I failed 10,000 times on anything, I don't know if I'd keep going. So, Nate, how do you look past the pain, or how do you look past the maybe the short-term success, or maybe some of the struggles that you might be having? What is kind of your process or your framework on how to get over those hurdles, or sometimes, after you've been dragged through the mud, what kind of keeps you motivated?
I mean, just knowing that the failures are, it's a learning process, right? I mean, there's so many things that you can fail out depending on what you're working on. And I mean, I've had some setbacks on things. When I just look back at it, it's just like, hey, what can I learn from this? Okay, now you did it the hard way. Now it's time to learn from those mistakes and improve and go forward. In a better direction. And I think with those, that's all you got to know. If whether it's failure, whether it's a setback, or however you want to define it, just knowing that you learn something from it, or you need to learn something from it. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna keep messing up. Then you're obviously be stuck, and that won't be good. But knowing that, hey, what can I take from this, and how can I improve and make myself better and go in a better direction, and just know that just doing the work and keep moving forward, it's going to get better. And it's like I said, just trusting that you're doing the right thing. Even though sometimes, it seems like you're not, but you are, putting in that work. And even when you mess up, because failures, I mean, that's how you learn the most. I mean, I failed a lot. It took me forever. So to get my bachelor's degree, it took me 7 years to get a 4-year degree, and I had a lot of failures in there because I wasn't taking school seriously at the time. And, I I failed out of the police academy and had to go finish off, at a different phase. And so there's different failures, and you just learn from them and keep going forward. It's and not getting down on yourself, right? Some people will take a failure, no matter what it is, a daily failure, maybe didn't win your day, or there's little things, and they just, totally sets them back and they just dwell on it. But all you can do is just keep going forward. There's nothing really, hey, okay, it happened, and now boom, what am I going to do to improve?
Well, those are a couple good examples. Good God. It's, yeah, man. I mean, so I know how hard the police academy was. It was one of those things that, there were no second, like there was like a second chance, and that was it.
Yeah. Right.
And if you failed out of it, like you had to start back at the beginning. And it was one of those processes that, I was lucky enough, and I had, I passed it the first time through, but I knew guys who had gotten a month 11 and failed out and had to start all over again. And it was one of those things that it was either going to make you or break you. And I think that, that's a really good example, because I think you were chasing something, not monetary. It was more of a passion thing. As we're both out of law enforcement and have fucking businesses and shit, but it's, so what is the one thing that, that you can what is the one tool or maybe one outlet that you have to keep up with that positive self-talk, or, I can't remember what you said, but, in regards to like actually, not getting down on yourself. What are some of the tools that you use?
I mean, the biggest thing now it's easier, right? Because we've experienced things, so we perspective, like, just knowing that it's really not that big of a deal, right? Like we've experienced like some really messed up stuff, so that really has made it easier for anything now to be like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal, because hey, we're still here, we're still alive, we get a chance to see another day, another opportunity for all this stuff. So when there is so much bad stuff going on, all around you, that I think that's the easiest way, is just to keep that perspective, at least for me, of like, things aren't really that big of a deal, whether it's a bad day at work, whether it's a, I don't know, bad day at the gym, whether it's a, bad day in your relationship. It's really, there's always tomorrow, right? That's how I kind of look at it, to an extent. There's always tomorrow, where, hey, let's not dwell on today. Let's freaking go to bed and wake up and start over, and you get a fresh start. But at the same time, you can't always do that, in a sense, I think, too. You got to find that balance, because then you can really procrastinate or just not really put in the effort if you're always like, oh, I can just do it tomorrow. I can just do it tomorrow. Oh yeah, I messed up today. You know what I mean? And get in that cycle of almost, I guess, being an excuse or that type of thing of. So I find a balance of like, hey, there is tomorrow to start fresh, but then at the same time, you can't always rely on it too much, or to not, like I said, just make excuses or push things off, or dwell on things.
All right. It's, dude, like what are you laughing at? You laughing at me? It, what, so I was listening to, Ed Milet, a couple weeks ago, and it was one of those things that, like, when you brought up the topic trust the process, I remember recalling an episode where he kind of talked about that same topic, and what he said is, you know, I'm gonna butcher it, but he kind of gave the example of, you know, when you entered your freshman year of high school and you were one person, you were one individual, you had one identity, or you know, you could have multi identities now, but it when you graduated your senior year, during those 4 years, the person that you know entered high school with, you know, and the person that was leaving high school were two different people. There was a totally different person in there. I mean, you grew emotionally, mentally, physically. You know, you either got bigger, stronger, faster, or fatter, taller, slower. So you just, I think when you look at the perspective of trust the process, I think oftentimes we get in such a big hurry to like accomplish our goals or achieve the things that we want to achieve, and the journey itself is way better than the ending, because the ending is just fucking sad music, sad songs, sad tears, sad fucking energy, and oh fuck, we're here, you know, like it's all great. It's a reason to celebrate, but at the same time, I think you got to look at yourself and recognize that you want to meet your other self. I don't want to meet the same person I am today as I will be in 4, 5, 6, 10 years. And I think like trusting that process, which is a common thing here, but trusting that, you know, as long as you do some of the smaller things in your life every single day. And for me, it's as simple as like putting good education inside my body. Like I want to be able to listen to good people. I want to read, you know, and have some information that, you know, that is going to make me a better person and a better investor, a better businessman, a better handyman, better, better partner, whatever it is. I got to look at it and go, I got to keep adding to it every single day.
Yeah, you know, and on that, I mean, it's the little things, right, that you do to improve, right? Driving in the car, you know, listen to podcasts or listening to, I mean, you can listen to YouTube too, listening to good stuff. I mean, hey, I still like to listen to music every once in a while, but if you have a lot of time in the car, I mean, you can audiobooks, podcasts, or, you know, business podcasts, not, you know, stuff that has good knowledge and good stuff to put in your brain. And yeah, just take advantage of that, you know, yeah, reading every day. Yeah, just everything you do. How are you improving yourself? And those little things add up every day. And on that, I mean, yeah, I know for sure that I'm a different person from 3 years ago, different person from 6 years ago, you know, even different person from a couple months ago, because always adding, you know, adding that knowledge, adding those skills, doing more. And yeah, that process is, it's the fun part about it. Yeah. I mean, like, whether it's like just going door to door, right, trying to build your business and like enjoying talking to new people and passing out your information and your flyers or whatever you're doing, you know, that day in and day out of like, hey, I'm not seeing these results, but it's still fun. And then boom, all of a sudden you got 10, 15 people, you know, new clients, new customers, whatever it is. That event, you know, like I said, you just got to trust, hey, I got to hand out these 500 flyers and eventually I'm going to get 10 people. And it's just, you know, that belief, because, you know, there will be stretches of times where you're just getting doors slammed in your face. Okay, thank you. We'll get back to you. You know, just getting blown off by people, whatever it is. And yeah, you just got to know, hey, everything I'm doing every day is going to add up. And like I said, you'll be able to pick those fruits, or however, whatever analogy you want to use, but get the fruits of your labor will eventually be, you know, gotten.
It's so Nate, what's your fruit? What is your pumpkin, or pumpkin or fruit? I don't know. What's your apple, or what is your fucking grape? Like what is the thing that you're looking forward to? What are you working on right now where the process itself is a journey and it's something that you're striving for? Is there something that comes to mind?
Like as far as just like what do you mean, like exactly? That's one.
Like what are you working on? Like what? So like for me, it's you know, I'm doing you know, I'm trying to become a full-time real estate investor. You know, and I'll give you a good example. Like so, um, the process that I'm going through right now is I'm struggling with building my personal brand, and I'm struggling with entrepreneurship in general. Like solopreneurs, it's one of the loneliest things I've ever had to do. It's weird. It's weird that you can see the benefits, you can see the, all the good things at the end of the finish line, which will absolutely just be amazing. But in the meantime, it's like it's a fucking grind. You got to wake up and you got to work fucking hard because you're only working hard for yourself. So like for me, it's like being super consistent on social media, being very consistent and looking for deals when it comes to investing in the real estate that we want to invest in, and keeping like my nose to the grind and enjoying in that process. But so what is the one thing that,
Oh,
like what are you working on?
well, yeah. So building my business, building this marketing social media company. It is right. It's like I'm staying consistent posting, right? Hey, I'm trying to build this social media company, this marketing company, and then but I got to make sure I'm still doing the things I'm trying to help people do, right? Like sometimes I'll slack off and not post enough during the week or even daily, right? But I'm trying to sell that to other people. Hey, you need to post daily, and then I'll do these posts for you. But sometimes I just get busy, between my personal brand, like you're saying, and then my business, posting up on both. I just did a real, because I noticed even that on my, my business one was like, there's all these just marketing stuff. It's like, hey, I need to put myself out there, put the face behind these posts, behind this business logo. So people just like think I'm not just some robot. That's, you got to personalize your business, personalize who you are, personalize what you're doing, what you're offering to help people. So I was like, hey, I just figured like I need to do this. And it is right, like sending out samples or trying to, talk to people and yeah, it's a process of, just trying to put yourself out there and, build your brand. And it is a grind, in the beginning and knowing just, hey, what you're doing is going to pay off.
It's one of those things. Like one of my like biggest suggestion is for people who are struggling with this, because I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs. I've talked to people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I've had the opportunity to play golf with some of these people and spend some extended amount of time. And I asked them, I go, what's the secret? What's the secret of being successful in whatever region of your life? And the most common thing that I keep hearing is don't quit. Do not stop. Just keep going. And I go, dude, you're worth $100 million and that's the only advice you're going to give me? And he's like, that's all it takes. You just got to keep getting better every single day. And you can't quit. You just absolutely, like, as soon as you quit, you failed. Like as soon as you stopped, doing whatever you're doing, you're failing. And it's like being addicted to cigarettes. Okay. It's like your lungs. Okay, and I'm not a fucking doctor, so don't take this as doctor advice. But it's when you quit smoking cigarettes, your body all of a sudden starts healing itself. Okay, it's pretty crazy. When you stop putting toxins in your body, it starts healing yourself. But as soon as you start smoking again, you're just re-damaging the things that have been re-healed. So I think oftentimes, like at least from the conversations I've had, it's one of those things that it's just like, don't fucking stop. Absolutely do not stop.
I was listening to Andy Frisella podcast. I don't know which one if it was a newer or older one, but yeah, it's exactly what he said. He said there is no secret. The only secret is not to quit, because in the end you just outlast everyone else, and that's the key to success is just keep going day in and day out, and other people will quit or whatever and fail or decide to, stop. And if you're still there, who are they going to go to? So it's like you said, exactly what you're saying, but that's all it is. It's just keep going. And which it kind of makes sense. I mean, right. I mean, there's, for whatever reason, either people retire, either people, change, decide not to do this and do something else. So, and if you're still there in that space, whatever that space is, there's no reason why eventually you have success, as long as you're providing value to people and taking care of them. And why would you not be successful?
Dude, we care so much about what fucking other people think about us. Oh my God. it's funny because like the one thing that I struggle with the most is like thinking about what other people are thinking of me and then recognizing that no one actually gives a shit. So this is a quote. I can't remember who it's from. I would love to quote him, but it's something I wrote down and I carry around with me in my little fucking black book. It says success requires no or excuse me. Outlast the temporary. Success requires. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm gonna have to cut this out of the show because I fucking fucked it up. What? Who
And we don't
writes
cut stuff
notes
out
like
the
this?
show.
Huh?
We just go. I said we don't cut stuff out of the show. We just
You
go.
know. Anyways, it's success requires no apologies. Failure permits no alibis. And I think I butchered it enough. But yes, you're right. There are no cuts in our show. Success requires no apologies. Failure permits no alibis. When you hear that statement, what does that kind of mean to you? What is your takeaway from that?
Well, I mean, at least especially on that success side, I mean, why should you have to apologize for waking up early, staying up late, working 6 7 days a week, 10 12 hours a day, working in the heat, working in whatever the conditions may be. I mean, those people that are truly successful, they put in the work. I mean, why do you have to apologize for putting in the work? There's the word lucky or certain other words will be thrown around for these people and how they got their success. But the fact of the matter is it's just a matter of work. So, you shouldn't have to apologize for being successful because you put in the work to achieve what you have achieved.
Dude, it's my favorite line in that is failure permits no alibis. It recognizes that like it's no one's fault except your own. Like when you stop achieving, you stop, getting after it every single day, all of a sudden, like it's just up to you. And it's no one else's fault. Like it's not society's. It's not because you live in a shitty country. It's not because, because you have so many opportunities in this world and it's crazy. Like I used to be like maybe 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, you might be restricted based on what country that you currently live in. But with the fucking internet, and if you can go somewhere with the internet and have the ability to create a business online in for, whatever market you want to do, dude, you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to go after and get that. And I think oftentimes, not oftentimes, I think in the near future, this opportunity of being able to do whatever the fuck you want and be successful at it is going to be, it might not pass us up, but it's one of those things that like, you got to fucking take it on. Like there's a great opportunity right now to really become incredibly successful, whatever it is, money, happiness, whatever, what you constitute success is.
Definitely. I mean, here in the United States, I think there is absolutely no excuse, right? I mean, we have the opportunity, there's abundance of opportunity for everyone. So definitely no reason, for not to be successful. Yeah. And if you aren't, it's on you. You got to take ownership of that and realize, that you maybe made mistakes. And that's the great thing about it too. Like you said, it's talking about Monday and Tuesday. I slept in. I didn't get up at 4 like I wanted to. But the great thing about it is like, hey, recognize it and boom, today got up at 4 and went to the gym, like recognize it and just move on from it. Don't dwell on it. Cause like we were saying earlier, people can get on that cycle of dwelling on things. Another point I wanted to make though, kind of from what just happened and I've still working on it, but man, when you're posting stuff or making stuff, like just shoot it and post it. Like you don't think about it. Like the reel I shot earlier, I think I stopped after like 5 seconds, reshot it real quick, and then just like I said, then just post it. But once you realize that people don't care and that you are like really judging everything about, how you're talking, how you sound, is mostly coming from you. And most people really aren't judging you that bad, or even if they are, they think about it for a second and they move on. So whatever content you're making, videos or like this, is just shoot it, post it, and move on and get on to the next thing. Sorry, side note I wanted to bring up before we move too far away from it and getting on the success stuff and failures. But yeah, I yeah, just take ownership. That's a book I need to can't wait to read. It's called Extreme Ownership. But the gist of it and some of the stuff is basically, yeah, taking ownership that everything is your fault. Like no matter what it is, it can be brought back to you. Like you know, some people kind of argue the weather, and there are some things, but no matter what it is, like if you didn't do something, it's your fault. It's no one else's fault. Um, it the like just for a random example, you're driving, get a nail in your tire. You can say, "Oh, that's not your fault." Actually, it is your fault because you chose to drive in that lane. You could have drove in another lane. So when you like seriously take extreme ownership of everything that happens, like it really just kind of makes things better, and you lose a lot of that extra stress. Be like, oh yeah, that was my fault. Okay, boom, move on.
I think oftentimes, like, yeah, I mean, definitely, like, you have to have that ownership. Um, but the thing that I think that anyone that's listening to this could take away is Nate and I have had the opportunity to fail a lot, and we've had the opportunity to essentially just give up. And there are things that I gave up. I mean, there was passions that I just fucking could not of I just couldn't keep doing it, and it was for whatever reason. But as soon as I made that decision, I think you got to be comfortable with it. And I think when you do, I think that is part of the process. So I wouldn't get too fed up with the old failures or the things that don't work, because I think oftentimes some of the most successful people know when they've hit a fucking wall, and that wall is either going to get knocked over and or they're just going to pivot left or right. And when you do that and you make that decision, I think what you think is a failure isn't technically a failure. I think it's a pivot that will turn into whatever your end goal is when you're jotting down that process.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, failures can lead into new opportunities, and with that, yeah, it's definitely a fine line too of you don't want to give up too soon, but then there is that point of you can't keep running into that wall. You either got to go left, go right, because for whatever reason, maybe it's a really thick wall and it's just not gonna work. So, um, but yeah, I think you definitely don't want to give up too soon. But yeah, you got, like you're saying, you got to know when you got to pivot left or pivot right to see other opportunities that are available, and that can come out of nowhere. With my last job that I had, it was really an opportunity that literally came out of nowhere. Wasn't looking for anything, and it just was there, and took it and went with it. So, and it led to lots of great things. So, when you sometimes are looking for things, is when you'll miss them. But when you're just not really looking for stuff and just going with it, I think you can, and really have open mind. Boom, you can see opportunities all over the place.
Opportunities. I think there's going to be so many opportunities come in the next 2 or 3 years. Like, everyone's predicting this huge crash, and I think it's going to happen. And but I think there's going to be some opportunities to really make some life changing money. Um, what is moving forward? I mean, and the whole topic was trust the process tonight. But what is the one thing that you could tell someone that might help them? Maybe pick out whatever their long-term goal is. Like, how do you go through your life picking the things that you want to accomplish?
I mean, that's just individually. Everyone's different. I have material goals, right? And I think to an extent you want to have those because that pushes you for certain things. But I mean, it's just, yeah, really sit and think about what you want and then how you're going to accomplish them. And I mean, I guess it's different for everyone, right? I mean, like you want to build a bunch of real estate so you have passive income. Some people might want to just work their way up and be the CEO of a company and do things that way. So it's really just saying, hey, what is going to make me happy? What do I want? And then, like I said, as far as accomplishing, break it down and work backwards from it. And how can I get there? What do I have to do every day? What are my little things I have to do to get to those goals?
Dude, it's my neighbor sending me a text. I saw my neighbor out there yesterday in my front yard, and he's like, "You want a pizza?" And I'm like, "Sure." So he just texted me, "Hey, I'm bringing you a pizza," which is awkward. But what the thing, one of the things that like that I think a lot of people struggle with, and I struggle with it at the same time, when you're picking the opportunities, I think sometimes not picking it is sometimes the best way. And let me explain that. I think a lot of people, including myself, will do the analysis by paralysis. You're stuck in the education phase of it, and I think oftentimes we're so consumed by so much content with YouTube and Google and Facebook and fucking Instagram and TikTok that you're learning all this shit, but then you don't actually input or actually implement any of these fucking things that you want to accomplish. And I think a lot of times people need to just get fucking started. And I think just start the process, because I think that process is going to lay it out, lay it out in front of you eventually. Don't worry about the systems and processes and the fucking LLC and the insurance and the website and all this bullshit. Just get started.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, whatever it is, um, what, yeah, like developing a logo. I got to put all this time and money into having the perfect logo, perfect color scheme, perfect this, like, no, if you want to, I don't know, cut grass, freaking go to whatever house, go to 10 houses. Hey, you need your grass cut, right? I mean, yeah, is it going to look more professional if you do have uniforms, or if you do have, a decent looking logo and things? But yeah, I think exactly. People get so consumed with, I got to learn everything. I got to have the perfect plan. I got to have the perfect, all this perfect stuff before I get started. No, get your business license, get your bank account going so you can deposit your money and go. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there, so many things that, yeah, do not get like Andy Frisella calls it, the success zombies. People just getting all the books, going to all the seminars, just doing all the things, and yet they're not doing anything with all that information. So yeah, you definitely have to sometimes just go and just do, and then you get those failures and you learn, right? Like, oh man, whatever. That's how you learn the best, is taking from the stuff that people have messed up on. But then, when you're doing this entrepreneurship, business ownership, yeah, learning from some of these failures, and sometimes they're going to cost you a little bit of money, but those are the ones that will help you to, get that growth and grow even faster and better, and know what not to do.
Well put, Nate. Well put. But if you're struggling with this episode and you're thinking, holy shit, I don't know how to implement any of this shit, you can do us a huge solid. And all you got to do is hit the like button, subscribe, and also if you want to book a consultation with Nate and I so we can help you trust the process, don't fucking hesitate to look us up on social media at JC Cardinelli and at Nate Alva. Recognize that, like, we have some skills. We've done certain things in our lives where we have trusted the process and the shit works. So if anything, share the episode, and also just, hit the like button, subscribe.
Yes, please do, or leave us a comment, just whatever, all that feedback helps. Send us a DM, reach out, comment on our stuff, whatever it is. We appreciate it. That's how we're going to grow the show, and know what you guys like, and get the feedback, and yeah, just on that. I mean, sometimes it's not all, we have a lot of life experience, situations and things that help too, not just the business stuff, not, there is those life experiences and dealing with things and tragedies and all kinds of stuff that does help too. Cause sometimes people are in certain situations, and, between the both of us, we've experienced a lot of different situations. So, we have those insights of maybe direction or a way you should go for certain things if you don't know which way to go. So, yeah, we appreciate, all our listeners and followers and subscribers and watchers and whatever else, I don't know, however else you can consume our content.
You can watch it. You can read it. We're on the radio. You know it. We're typing these things out in braille, so the blind people can read it. It's one of those things that like, yeah, dude. I think this is an important episode, and I think it's something that if you are listening to this and you think it can help someone else, please share it. So, Nate, we're almost out of our Zoom window. It's we're about to get canceled. So
Man,
I know, flew by.
it's been a great episode though. I mean,
Yeah.
so best
All right,
one
man.
yet.
I think so. I agree. I'm gonna give it an A, not an A plus, but like it's definitely a solid A, like a 95%.
Damn, that's solid.
All right, man. Well, let's wrap it up. What are we gonna talk about next week? We got 1 minute.
That's a good question. Geez, we'll come up with something good for you guys.
All
I
right.
don't know if we should just have a shoot the shit show, or we should do some more serious talk.
Well, I mean, it'll be a surprise. So tune in for next week.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.